In the Chimera Ant arc, the most interesting and most memorable episode in the history of Hunter x Hunter, many characters died, and the manner of their deaths increased, while others met shocking ends. In this article, we will introduce the characters who died in the Chimera Ant arc. The most shocking death is the one in the ruins. We were reunited for the first time in a really long time, and then the Nefertiti sound attacked us and took one of my arms with it. While Kaido was holding him back, Killua escaped, and Killua was so overwhelmed by the aura of the people that he completely lost confidence in his ability to defeat them. Such is the case with Tsunami, who strongly encouraged the two to go this time. However, despite their hope, in the next scene, the two heads were lying in Nefertiti's lap. It must have been someone's grandest moment to see Kite, a true disciple and a Chimera Ant who had killed other Chimera Ants with his disease, meet such an end. Many readers must have been shocked at how little was left. However, after the battle, Kite is revived as a girl Chimera Ant. Opal, who snitches, is one of the most brutally murdered of all the aspiring Hunter x Hunter characters. Originally, she came to take the same Hunter exam as Pawn and the others, and was one of many Hunters who were accepted together, but she was captured by the Chimera Ant, and while trying to get by among the piles of corpses, Nefertiti was discovered and both were tinkered with and dragged out of their knowledge about people. And the last was the Queen's bread and butter. Netero was the 12th president of the Hunter Association and was said to be the most powerful character in the work, possessing the power of Kenichi. 46 years old and feeling himself limited, Netero decided to train himself by doing 10,000 times the evil of gratitude administration every day in order to surpass his limits. At first it took him 18 hours to finish, but eventually it became so short that he could finish 10,000 in 7 hours. As a result, Nero's reconstructive techniques left sound behind, and he also left behind the legend that he became faster than the tones. In the Chimera Ant arc, Nero stands on the front lines of battle for the first time in the work. And although he unleashes the breakthrough institutional theory born from the time of the new administration of his beloved machine, Doraemon is unable to defeat the secretary's Tatsu parent even with the hands of the academic world VC, but Nasser's body is already battered and wrinkled after one arm and one leg are ripped off and the Cilia Strike is exhausted by the VC's hands. However, with his last ounce of strength, he pricks his own heart with his finger. Then, on the 3rd, the bomb named Mr. A was activated, and Mary was also driven to the brink of death. It was a wonderful end, just like the president of the Hunter Association. For Nefertiti and Nefertiti 4 is to give despair to one of the best hyper. She is one of the 5 aces of the footnote 5, and her loyalty to 4 is so strong that she does not portray beautiful girls like Shamash, but accepts them as they are. He is also the one who killed others and incurred the wrath of gold. At first, the character killed Kaido and Pakal and was innocent and relentlessly cruel, but as the story progressed, she became more and more human and was portrayed as fighting to protect what was important to her. The scene was the end of the story, when he was beaten in Iraq by Concern, which grew momentarily and changed the terrain. After fixing the wheat, that you can no longer heal it even if you go to fix it well. I want to go to the grave, and this time I could not keep my sanity and transformed into a Concern. As it was, he was hit with tremendous force and continued to be hit with no form left, and he pledged his allegiance that much. It was a very sad ending, as Nair Emi was never found and died. This scene is one of Hunter x Hunter's most famous scenes, and although Kim's strength was cool, many readers may have been excited about Nefertiti 3 Town and Mel. Nair, the new Chimera Ant born from Queen Emi, laughed at first, ruthlessly killing and reigning in fear of his men, but his values changed drastically when he met Wheat. The way she gently held the frozen wheat in her arms, she was no longer a monster, but behaved in a way that could only be considered human. However, the strength was still overwhelming and the theory was that he was showing that Chairman Nero's attack. Even the miniature consul was unable to choke him out. However, even Neroa, who was the strongest of them all, was also unable to stop the poison that Daigo had put in the miniature rope, which caused Sista to draw his last breath. Who could have predicted it? While Hunter x Hunter has many characters who die in cruel ways that make you feel sorry for them, this broad meaning is the development of the most peaceful death. I should say I'm the teacher of the year before last. 6 Wheat escapes and retreats to Verbine as the world champion of the military machine. She is a little girl in the comics, blind and constantly sniffling, but when the war machine starts, she changes the air so much that she opens her eyes, which should be invisible, and feels even large, and retreats with sharpened concentration. Mel laughs, who has quickly beaten other board game world champions, but no matter how many times he fought Wheat, he could not beat Takeshi, and Nirunim created a new one. The other day, Wheat had already been invented 10 years before that. In the midst of all this, Foe began to embrace the value that some humans deserve to be kept alive, and emotional turmoil began to occur. In an attempt to reach such a situation, you set up the learning of drinking in a very bad way, and the Wheat is mortally wounded by that draconian live. You ask King Phelps to heal you, but you see the end of one side that continues to nail you with Mary Mary until the time of your death, or you immediately follow Nerome. He is a mob character who is just Imi's pastime partner, but he has stopped being a big supporter and has become an important character. That's all for this time. This is a video of the political world. Is of recent years.